Last comment on this question comes from Mayor Bloomberg.
David, following on the football theme, I don't know whether they're afraid or whether it's just too far, but I will point out that OU has never tried to schedule a game with St. John's, Fordham, NYU, Columbia. Maybe the New York teams are just too tough for them. I don't know.
I'm going to send that list over to our athletics director right away.
Please do. You know, I was thinking last night, the group of independent thinkers that you assembled here and that I was privileged to be with last night and this morning, really what we talked about was that America is being held back and that our people and our country are being hurt by current government policies. And it isn't that we should be discussing whether it is bipartisan or nonpartisan. What we want is people to be selected for government based on competency. What we all want, and I think so do you, is we want to make sure that the ideas that come up are ideas that are considered based on whether they will work, not whose idea it was. And unfortunately, we've gotten away from that. The bottom line is this country is the most wonderful country that anybody has ever created. We have done some amazing things in the last 235 years domestically and to help the rest of the world. And somehow or other we seem to have lost our vision. We've become afraid, and there's no reason for America to be afraid. We are a country of optimists. We believe we can do everything. And we want to get back to that. And this panel's not here to criticize. It is simply to help people find ways where we can pull together and in the end get what we all want, and that's results.
Thank you very much. We had agreed with all of our participants because they have schedules to end this press conference at 12. I'm of course known far and wide for my punctuality, and it's now 12:07, but I do want to allow two others who've indicated a desire to comment, and that's Congressman Leach and then Senator Nunn.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'll be very brief. I do think it's fair to suggest that everybody knows that we're trying to suggest to the world that democracy is the best way to organize politically and socially. And yet we've got some problems in our own democracy, and we've got to think them through and take stock and try to renew a sense of justice and idealism in a democratic way. And for example, arguably one of the great civil rights issues of our day has nothing to do with race. It has to do with political opportunity. When money governs a system, a lot of people that have thought about running for office simply don't and can't. We have to reform the financial way we run our campaigns. In any regard, we're looking at a presidential campaign, but it's much more than that. It's the Congress, it's all levels of government. We have to re-involve and uplift the political dialogue, emphasize some idealism, emphasize concepts like the common good that have been left out of the rhetoric of American politics, and make our system so wondrous that everybody in the world is going to want to follow it. Instead of becoming constrained in some sort of non-humble, macho political presentation to the world, that we just have to rethink and redo, and we can do it.
Thank you very much. Senator Nunn.
David, thank you and Molly for being our host. Thank all the people in your staff for a superb job. Thank the people of the University of Oklahoma for having such a splendid president, and for, even when you lose an occasional football game, keeping him here in his position of leadership. My closing thought is, I heard a preacher say the other day, he said, if you think you're a leader and you look over your shoulder and ain't nobody following, man, you're just taking a walk. Well, Whether we are just taking a walk depends on you and citizens all over America, and I'm confident that citizens are going to speak to these issues this year and have these challenges to the candidates running not only for the presidency but for elected office at the national and state and local levels. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Nunn. Well, I want to thank all of you who have joined us. I'd leave with this thought. Remember that no matter how sound the plans may be, how visionary the ideas may be that our political leaders bring, that they cannot be enacted simply by the leadership of only one party. For example, in the Senate, it takes a supermajority of 60 votes to pass something into law. That means that at least over the last several years, there have not been enough either Democrats or Republicans by themselves to pass any important or major change. It takes bipartisanship. And so we close this meeting with an appeal to all American citizens and to the media. Help us put the questions we have raised directly to the candidates. We cannot do it by ourselves. We must ask the candidates if they plan to create a bipartisan cabinet and administration. We must ask the candidates to present a strategy, not just a statement that they want to do it, but a strategy for a unified consensus. We must ask the candidates for their strategies to build a more positive relationship with the rest of the world. And so we close today. We leave as we came. All of us, not just the panelists, but I believe all of you. We leave filled with hope for our future and with a great determination to keep this country as great as it's been year after year. Thank you all for joining us today for this press conference. Good job. Good job.